Hello everyone, Eric Chappelle, Civil Community Evangelist, and I'm here today with Heiko Meyerdirks and Tim Yaris. And these guys are going to be our stars today, presenting to you on style customization for InfraWorks 360 and Civil 3D. Before we get to those presentations though, I just wanted to welcome everyone to our webcast series. If you're new here, we've been doing this, trying to hit the first and third Wednesdays of the month since last April. So we're pushing 18 months here on this webcast series, and it's been growing and it's been a success. And we're real happy that we're able to do it and that people come and get value out of it. The goals of the series: we want to give you information about our civil products, primarily InfraWorks 360 and Civil 3D, but whatever comes up, if it's vehicle tracking, if it's Navisworks, even Revit, whatever is relevant to the discussion, we're going to talk about it here because we know that you all use multiple products in what you do as well. So it's a chance to get information. It's a chance for you to ask questions and provide feedback. And ultimately, we want to bring you guys closer to the folks who work on the software every day, who actually make it. And we're fortunate today to have two members of our civil product team with us. Sometimes we have guest presenters from different parts of the company, and that's great, but we always, I think, prefer on this series to hear from the folks who make the magic and write the code. Our next webcast is going to be August 17th, so 2 weeks from now, same time, noon to 1 Eastern. And if you're wondering what this new mobility simulation feature set is all about, the man himself, Gordon Duncan, is going to be presenting to you an introduction on how to use it. It's a very robust, very feature-rich. It's kind of a program, an entire program in itself. If you've ever toyed around with it, there is a lot to it. So if you're interested at all in using it, you're going to want to see Gordon's presentation. If you're wondering, like, what exactly is it, it's like traffic simulation, but it includes all or many modes of transportation. So not just cars, but also buses and transit and ride share and bikes and pedestrians, and it shows you how to tie it all together and simulate all those people interacting and moving around on different modes of transportation all at once. And it's not just visualization, it's also simulation. It's analyzing what's going on and maybe what the effects of your design are on that flow of people and traffic in an urban area primarily, but really it's good for anywhere. So definitely check that out. This isn't so new anymore, but I still don't want to take this slide out for those of you who maybe haven't joined us for a few months. We've broadened the scope of our webcast series. We now do InfraWorks 360 and Civil 3D, and as I said earlier, anything else that comes up. We, a little while ago, were strictly focused on InfraWorks 360, but we realized that nearly all of you who are interested in InfraWorks 360 are also Civil 3D users and users of our other civil products, and the products tie together so well and work together so well, it just made sense. Couple of polls I want to launch for you. So the first one has to do with what's your current usage level of InfraWorks 360? I'm going to launch that poll. And if you're a regular attendee with us, you've seen this poll before and probably answered it. So we're just interested in seeing this trend over the history of our webcast series. Just looking at the preliminary results, so far 50% of you have voted. Right now the winner is I've installed it and played with it a few times. And then we've got second and third places. I've dabbled in it and regularly use it. 66% of you have voted so far. I'll give it a few more seconds and then I'll go ahead and close down that poll. And the winner is I've installed it and played with it a few times. So that's perfect because the more you see of InfraWorks 360, the more you love. So after today, you're going to probably move down the list to one of the lower options. All right, next, we want to know if you're using InfraWorks 360, what version are you using? So is it the licensed full version that has everything? Is it the LT included with the suites? Are you on a trial? Haven't you installed it at all yet? Or maybe you're not sure exactly what you're using. And there's a resounding winner at the top, which is the licensed full version of InfraWorks 360. So far, 70% of you have voted, but we definitely have a clear winner with the licensed full version. So thanks for sharing that feedback. That's really important to us to kind of know what's going on out there. Okay, a little bit about the InfraWorks 360 community. We've got a hub page that's really great to visit. It's autodesk.com/InfraWorks360 community. You're going to see all kinds of good stuff there. It's very community focused, so not a lot of sales or marketing material there. It's more informational for you guys to help you learn and do more with the product, or hear from other users, or even our product team members who are very active in the community, especially the discussion forum. So definitely check that out. And by the way, we have a brand new gallery page. I need to update this slide. The gallery is super cool. It used to be all you could update were still images and videos. Now you can do 3D models that are navigable. You can do screencast videos, embed them in your projects. There's just all kinds of neat stuff you can do now to show off what you've been doing, not only with InfraWorks, but Civil 3D or any of our products. So definitely check out the gallery. If by chance we talk about something that's in preview or in labs, we just want to make sure you guys are clear that anything you see along those lines is not a promise of those features actually being supported or existing in a future version of the product, and we don't want you to make any purchasing decisions based on that. So that's the legal disclaimer that we have to show each time. We want you to ask lots of questions. Unfortunately, we can't open the phone lines because there are so many of you. It would sound like a zoo. We ask you to use the questions window in your GoToWebinar interface. Type your questions in there. I'm going to be keeping an eye on those, as well as Tim and Heiko. We're going to tag team on all those, and if we can't answer them, we'll get back to you. If we can answer them right there in the window, we'll do it there. And if something is of special interest or a recurring theme, we'll go ahead and break into the conversation and ask and answer the question on the air. So with that, I'm going to make Heiko the presenter. And he's going to take it away with style customization for InfraWorks 360.
All right. Hello, my name is Heiko. I'm software developing manager for InfraWorks 360. I'm with the product since 8 years now, so I'm with it longer than the product is called InfraWorks 360. And I was actually acquired from a company that worked on a similar idea, very different to what we'll have now. I'm based in Potsdam, what's in Germany, and I'm also German, so please be not too strict with me on the English language, what's not my mother tongue. I hope you see my screen in the meantime. If not, please tell me or type it in.
We see it,
I'll start. Perfect. I'll talk a bit about stylization in InfraWorks 360. Stylization is a pretty important and powerful method to build up your model quickly. The idea here is that you will have relatively simple data and you get some visuals and out of it in a speedy and easy way that you have a conceptual idea around the whole thing. Once you have that, you can go into details in InfraWorks 360 and build out details. So the idea is that you can do detailed design in the context of what is. In the most designed application, you will have just what you design. In InfraWorks 360, we target it, we will have the context already. The context creation, there are several things on it. That's not the topic here, but let me just tell what you see here is this is something I created with the service model builder. And this comes already with kind of a stylization. In the stylization, it's nice, but it will not suit you in all cases, so you can modify it. I always like to talk about something what has some real life value. So what you see here is neither a very big model nor a super beautiful model, it's just my home village. And I show it to you because I really use this to do something, and that all will show you. So what you see here, it's in Brandenburg, it's a flat area, so we don't have hills here. It's a small village with 6,000 people, and there's a main street in the middle with houses on the left and on the right side. They all look relatively simple, and you will go here and see at some point of time a very, very big house. It's the green one here. I'm hovering. This is something my neighbor wants to build. What's okay, but I'll fear a bit that no one really has an idea about the impact what such a big building has in a small street in a village. So I built this model to visualize that, to show what's happening to the shadows and so on. And to do so, I'll need a good model, how it really looks like our village. Of course, you'll see it's just a model, but I wanted to have it as accurate as possible. Right, back to the topic. So we want to have custom styles. What you see here is the classic road style you get when you create a model with Model Builder, and it's absolutely not looking like our main street. So let me get in here and modify it a bit. First thing I'll do is I press Alt-6. I'm just telling you that because maybe you like to use it. Of course, you can also access this functionality when you go to our toolbars. You open the main toolbar, you go to the Edit toolbar, and you bring up the Style palette. That's what's highlighted here. That's maybe the way you find more confident, but I'll always tell what's the hotkeys. So at some point of time, it's quicker, of course. So this is the Style palette. In the Style palette, you'll have all styles listed, which comes with the default installation. And what we're interested in at the moment is road. By the way, I'm not changing geometry now. I'm just changing the way things are stylized. So we, of course, will tweak at some point of time also the road where it is, but it's not about now going in and adding lanes or something. You can do this all by styles. It's even important that you do it by styles if you don't have a dedicated reason for adding an extra lane. If you do 2 lanes with 2 roads, you'll have to modify both all the time. You can easily do that by modifying your style. If you just have the information of one center line, you don't have to add an artificial second center line just to get another line. You can modify your style and get 2 lanes based on the center line. Of course, if you have dedicated information for each line, you can create a style with a single lane and do it from there. But if you don't, I would keep it a single center line and modify your style. So what we do now is I will go in here and see all my roads. And I realize the road I need isn't here. So what I always do, but you can do it as you like, is I always do a copy of an existing style. I never go in and create from scratch, but of course you can do it if you like. So I select something and do a copy. Let me look for something that looks okay already. I'll take this one, sidewalks with something, and I create a copy by clicking the duplicate button. Here's an ad. You can create a new one. You can delete a known one, and you can duplicate the selected style. You can also move it to another style catalog. There's a little bit style catalog editing. So I create a duplicate now. Here it is, sidewalk with lamps 2. I call it my street. If you wonder where this style will end up, there are 2 things. There's the default style catalog that's installed on your machine. Everyone has that who has InfraWorks 360. If you create in custom style, it will be added to the model. The reason for that is when you share the model on our model sharing service, you want everyone else downloading it and viewing and modifying it also be able to access this style. So it's not in your local style database, it's in the model. So here's my street. I double click it or click the edit button, and now you see the style editor. So the style palette has a lot of catalogs for different asset types. I'm in the road, there are a lot of roads here, and I go in and will modify a custom-made road style that looks like my road. So what I need here, we'll have a road. I'll come to this later. What's still there? That's let me go into what you would do with the first thing. I can expand that and say, okay, I'll have two groups here. I have the middle group and I have the group on the side, and I have the amount of lanes. So you don't have to do it all over for each lane. You can just add lanes to it. Let me show it how this looks like. Now I have more lanes and more lanes. I don't need those. I go back to one lane. I just need one lane in both directions. So I'll have a bikeway. That's good because I need one. But I see this bikeway, my bikeway in my case, is not on the pedestrian level, it's on the road level. So if you go in here, you see the curb and then the bikeway. I need it all the way around. So I press these buttons to move it up. And you see the bike lane goes down to the road level and then the curb comes. So what's totally missing for me here is we'll have a green space between the curb and the pedestrian. So I'll add that. I get into the area where it should be and press a plus, and I'll select, I call it green. I'll have already a category what's called green space here. And what I'll have to do now is a few things that you see it. You can create an offset, so you can add another that it's like a stairs in the end, but I don't need that. It should be same level. Then the next one, I need a surface, so I'll take green space, and I need a track width, and I know it's 2 meters wide. And let me see what we get here in the meantime. Right. So you'll see it's already looking good, but of course I did something wrong. It's in the wrong order because it was insert above and I thought it's insert below. So I'll move it down. And now it looks more like what I need. This is pretty much what I need already. With one exception, I don't have those lines on my road. You can do more here, by the way. Let me show you that maybe. You'll have, you can add more aspects. You can even go down again, have another lane, go up again, and so on. That's what I told, that you don't have to add geometry. If you want to have a complex road style, you just have to modify your style accordingly. So what do I need? Let me see. The roadway is 2.5 meters. It's too wide. It's just 2 meters. So then we'll have a bikeway of 1 meter. It's good. The curb 20 centimeters is good. Green space 2 meters good. Sidewalk 1.5 meters good. It makes all sense. Then I want to have different decorations. The decorations are the things which goes with your road, but are not a constant geometry. It's the lights, it's the poles, all that stuff, but it's the reappearing things. So when I click here, you see none. What's a little bit confusing. When you think of the lights you see, that's because they're different buckets. Why do we have different buckets? The reason is they're always relative to the bucket. So if you say, my poles are in the green space that no one parks there, I'll do them relatively to the bucket green space. Because once you change the lane width, they will move with the green space. So, interesting enough, the light is already also on the green space. I don't need that one, so I'll have to click it and delete it. And now I add a new one. What you get here is the 3D model catalog, and I'll have to look for something what looks like I can use. Maybe this one here is good. So you see it below, it's already there. It's a little bit too close, so I'll have to do a little bit track offset. And it's always a little bit trying out, so you click it, you see what happens, and you can do a height offset if you want a little bit lower or floating. The spacing offset is also something you can do, and the spacing itself. That all looks good so far. So I'm done with it. So that's my road so far. And let me click OK. Takes a bit. Nothing happens, of course. It's not applied. So what I take now is I take my street, move it over, and double check what happens. And this looks already much more like I know it should look. If you go to in here and have a look here, it looks already nearly perfect. There are a few things to double check maybe. For example, I see my green space too small. It's simple. I just go in, modify it again, open my green space, make it bigger, and let me see what happens. Yep, that looks, it takes a bit. It automatically updates everything. So it takes a bit. This looks right now. Now it looks good. So here you go. This is my road as I know it. Looks already pretty good. But what I don't like is the material of the grass I'll have here. That's the next section I'll do is materials. When you remember here, there wasn't a way to really select which texture you use. Let me bring it up. So what you see here is that you will have a material group. This is called Street Materials 1. And that's all. You can get another material group if you like, Street Materials 2 or whatever. So let's go to the material group and see what's this all about. Material groups are predefined sets of materials you can use for your road styles. So you can create several road styles out of the same material group. You don't have to specify them all over again yourself. So we'll have the material group 2, that's already wrong. Let me go here, material group 1. And here you see really all the materials which are available in a road style. And then let me go to the green space. I don't like this one. So I double click it and I can choose another one. And what I will do is I'll go to material terrain and I will go to another type of grass, this one here. And then press OK. And it all updates it automatically itself, and you'll have this more green grass with a multi-scale texture. I'll come to later what's this all about. Okay, this material groups, this was pretty quick, so let me quickly bring it up again. Each style is built of a group of materials. Those groups are already predefined, and here you have the real textures. And you can modify them, but they will modify all the styles which are built out of this material group. So if you replace your material you have for bike path, make sure that you create your own material group for every different bike path with a different material, because it will be applied to all styles built of it. In the end, you need materials for this material group, and you can also change those. I'll show you for a different, I think here's the material. The material is pretty generic. Materials can be used for all styles. Material groups are less generic, but not defined as a style. They can use for several styles. A style is a single style. So there's a cascading order of a generalization. Let me show what to do with materials in a different way. So here's my house. This is a small one. So it's the reason why I don't like this big one so much. But it doesn't look like that. Of course, it looks like a normal house. Let me go over here. It looks like this one. Yeah, let me show you. This is my house. Both. Okay, I don't want to create an own 3D building. Far too much work for me. I could do that, but I don't want to. So let me do something. Let me grab a let's say, a typical fraction of my facade. Here we go. And I save that. So, oops. And now I'll add a new material. Let me do that. And here you can add a new material you can define by doing a color or a texture. For the texture, you'll select it. Let me go in here, copy as path, move over there, texture, bring this up, enter this one here, and that's it. So here's the width and the height. This something you'll have to do, even it might not feel reasonable, because if you have a picture, the system doesn't know the scale, so you have to scale it actually. Let me think of the width. Maybe the width is 5 meters something. The height is 2.5. What you see on this picture. Okay, and that's it. New material. I give it a name. My house. Okay, now it's interesting. Even you build up styles out of material groups, and those are built up of materials. You can use already a material to stylize something. This sounds now super complicated. The reason for that is, for a single picture you don't want to create a style. For a single picture you just want to drape the picture. So all you have to do is bring in the picture and then apply it as a style. So I go to my house. I see that there is a menu style yellow, sorry. I click that. I click more styles. I go to, not to color, not to 3D model. I go to material, go to my house. I click OK, and that's it. Here you see it. Looks good. It looks a little bit like my house. Not perfectly, of course, because procedural creation of houses never look like the house themselves. If you really want to look the house like your house, you either do the detailed design directly in InfraWorks, which works well, and do a very accurate footprint and everything, or you just bring in a 3D building, what also working. But this is content creation and modeling, what is not stylization. Okay, so let me see. Okay, that's already good. So then I'll have to speed up a bit, I see. So let me speed up a bit. I'll have a new topic, tunnels and bridges. Let me go there. I'll open a new model. I go to Home. I go to an area with a lot of mountains. Otherwise, tunnels make no sense. So you have it here. So I also have a story about this one, but I'll make it short, otherwise it takes too long. So I want to have a tunnel here because I think to connect those parking lot with this village is a great idea. Actually, it makes no sense if you would know the area, but it really doesn't matter in our case. So what I do here is I go into the edit mode, I create a road, I start here, that's a good thing, here a style picker comes up. The style picker is a much more simple thing than the style catalog. It's really just let you select the style. What's already there. No editing, nothing. That's an easy draw tool thing. That's the reason why it's different. Okay, I can type in something here. I type in tunnel. And let me take this tunnel tool here. I already prepared it, and I'll show you later what it's all about it. So actually, I did this already. And I will show you this already. So I don't create it. Now I've created a tunnel here. So I connected a road here a bit. This is a road style. Let me press escape. I'll go back to the selection mode. Here you see something what has a road style, and inside here you will have a tunnel style. If you go down here, you see it's really a tunnel. The important thing of a tunnel is a tunnel does not go with the terrain. It doesn't follow any rules of slope and stuff like that. It goes straight through. So there's geometry difference, geometry creation difference for this style. You can go here and also select it here if you like. But what we want to do now is to have a look in the style definition itself. So I'll again bring up the style catalog. Oops, 1 second, wrong one myself. Okay, and here it is. And then we go to road and tunnel 2. And here is the same thing you know already. For the big difference here is I selected tunnel instead of road. And here you see a tunnel. If you go and select road instead, the tunnel is gone. Here are two options for tunnels. They are circular or rectangles. Depends what you want. You can also hide the walls if you want to create an underground structure without every single tunnel having its own walls. You can have a few roads and railways and all that stuff and one big tunnel all around it. Here's not really a big difference. What I really want to show here is something what we call custom profile, and we think it's a very handy thing. When you think of all this structure we'll have, you have not seen something like what you see here, a crash barrier. It's no way to do that because it's nothing what's fluently in the terrain, and we had a lot of customers creating decorations of crash barriers, but then they're not fluently going with the track themselves. So we'll added something what we call custom profile. And if you click this here, you can, let me bring up again my file explorer. You can have an SDF of a profile you created with, for example, AutoCAD, and pull it over here. And this is all what's in. And this is my custom profile. And I can position that again somewhere like my decorations, but it will follow as a profile the whole track. It has an offset, it has scaling, it has a material, so there will be a material on it, and geometry. That's pretty handy, for example, for roads as well. So maybe I can give you a last example of railways. Let me give you a last example of railways. I open here a model with a lot of content what we use for demonstration purposes. And here you will see that. You will see, let me go somewhere where you find it, to a bridge here. And this bridge comes with such a custom profile. And when you look closely, you even have the custom profile, and then we use road decorations for creating the poles where crash barriers connected to. And this looks like this. This is a custom style of a road. And you can, and as you see, you have also a bridge. A bridge is also a type of again, yeah, coming, here we go. A bridge is also a type, a style type of a road. You can have a bridge. Then you'll don't interact with the terrain again, but it's floating in the air and has poles. There's a real bridge tool, by the way. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit more advanced. But even if you start simply, you have a bridge. So let me go over here to the railways. And then I think the majority what you want to show is done. Railways also comes with an own style editor. And basically everything comes with an own style editor. There are things which are not so complex, like city furniture. because it's just 3D models. But here, the railway is something that has also a style editor, and I can show you this, a bridge with a custom profile. And here I have you how you configure a railway bridge. You will see here it's built of all those aspects you know from the road already. On difference, of course, is you will have a rail bed in the middle, and the rail settings has rail settings like you would expect. That's something I would suggest you try out. I picked road because road is the most common thing to use. There's not really a difference. Just try it out. That's my suggestion. Try it out how it goes, and yep. I still have more, by the way, but I guess we're running out of time. So I would say that's good for now.
Maybe we'll have to have a second installment, a part 2 of InfraWorks 360 styles in the future. Heiko, one interesting question that came up and that I'm sure everyone wants to know is, when you create a custom style, how do you share it with other people?
Okay, so there are 2 ways. They are shared with the model. So to create a style and export it, let me go here. You can save the whole style catalog and import an existing style catalog or export it to an own one. So there are 2 ways. Either you just share your model, then you save. When you really want to have this style used in another model and you're not using it, you can export this style catalog and import it again in the next model. And then you'll have it in your model again and you can share it again. Okay. Unfortunately, there's no style collaboration or content collaboration service yet.
All right, thank you. Well, as you said, we're to stay on schedule, we're going to switch over to Tim Yaris, and he's going to talk about Civil 3D styles. So, Tim, you are up.
Great, thank you very much. Can you hear me, Eric?
I can hear you great. Not seeing your screen yet. Perfect. I'll let you know when that comes up.
I'm working on that right now.
We got you.
How's that?
Yep, you're live.
Excellent. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so Eric just wanted me to really quickly say a quick word about myself, just like Heiko did. So again, my name's Tim Yaris. I've been with Autodesk for about 10 years now, all on the Civil 3D product team and everything. I spent a long time doing a lot of the writing for the help and tutorials and that sort of thing. And then for the last several years, I've been doing user experience design. So what that means is essentially kind of taking a lot of the product requirements that we get from you folks and speaking to you, our users, and just kind of coming up with the best ways to incorporate new features and new tools and functionality into the existing Civil 3D product and everything. So, so that's me. So anyway, what I really wanted to get into today was just with the 2017 release of Civil 3D, we haven't changed a lot in the way of like how styles are created, but the big change in regards to styles in 2017 are how styles are managed across an organization. So a couple different things that we did around this for this release is a couple of our goals are that we wanted to kind of give you a way to partition styles into smaller templates so that for an organization you didn't have to necessarily have like one giant template that included every style that you needed. We wanted to be able to kind of let you break things up into smaller templates and then use those as you need them. Other thing we wanted to do is let you kind of establish a hierarchy of styles and kind of shuffle that hierarchy around as your needs change in regards to a project, and I'll get into that in just a moment. And then the big thing that we really wanted to do is around style management, meaning like give you the opportunity to kind of push style changes out to an organization simply without having to kind of drag styles. Like if you update a style, we didn't want you to have to like drag and drop styles from like from a template into existing drawings and that sort of thing. We wanted something a bit more automated and simple to use. So with that, I'm just going to really quickly walk through a demo. It's not terribly exciting just because I just have currently in this drawing I just have just one single alignment segment, and just wanted to kind of keep things pretty simple for you here, just so you can really clearly see what's going on. So anyway, so you'll see this current drawing that I have open, I just created this from just the AutoCAD ISO template. So as you see here in my settings tree, I really just only have just the standard styles that show up, just when you don't have any other styles present in the drawing and everything. So this is as lightweight as a civil drawing can get and everything. And so basically what we're going to be looking at here is I want to be able to add, for this particular case, some styles that are more related to my alignments. So I want to add some more alignment styles and some label styles. And so that's what we're going to work on right now. So the way that I'm going to make that happen is I'm going to go into our Manage tab up on the ribbon, and you'll see we've had these two import and purge tools for several releases now. And this new tool that we have here is this reference. And if I click on that, what you're going to see here is this new dialog here that kind of gives you, it lets you attach reference templates to your drawing. And so what this is going to do, it's very similar behavior to like, kind of like a mixture between the way that you attach XREFs, or even more so if you attach like a DREF to your drawing. So basically what I'm just going to do is I'm going to just kind of attach a template here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my files type is set to DWT, of course. And I'm going to go into, what I'm going to attach first is just this. I have 3 templates here, and I'm going to start with this global template. You see it doesn't have any objects in the drawing. This is all just style content. So I'm going to click open, and I can, from that dialog, I can multi-select a number of templates as well and attach them all at once. So in this case, you'll see here I have this, nothing really happened just yet, but I do have this, the template name is here and what the path is and all that kind of stuff, and it also has a status that means it's pending. Pending just means that it's been attached, but it hasn't been really applied to the drawing just yet. So what I'm going to do here, you keep your eye over here on like the style tree. So when I click update, basically what's going to happen is now you see a whole bunch of new styles that have shown up in my alignment styles tree, and then also in my alignment station, major station node as well. And so what you're going to see here is that like one of the ways that we wanted to let you know that like a style is either natively in a current drawing or attached, it's being referenced in a template, is we have this this paperclip icon here just to kind of let you know that it's this style is attached by the reference template and everything. So basically, now that those styles are in the drawing, now I can go into my alignments and I can now go in and use any of those styles. So in this case, I'm just going to say I want to use this as, let's say I'm going to use the proposed alignment style, and if I click OK, now you see that my alignment, like just the line segment, has turned to green because that's the way that it's defined in the particular style that I'm using. So if I go in now, and I can also do the same thing with my alignment labels, I can import a label set that I wanted to use from my reference template. So I'm just going to pick this major minor style set, and I'm going to apply, and now you see that I have like new major and minor labels that are all like that. So good way to really quickly kind of grab styles out of the reference template and everything. So let's do some more stuff here. So if I go back into this that styles panel, the attach reference template. So now I want to attach another template, and so now I'm going to say I want to grab out of my favorites, I'm going to grab this regional template. So I'm just going to show you how things kind of cascade from template to template and see like which one wins. So this regional template has a lot of the same style names as are included in that global template that I already brought in. So same thing that we saw before. It goes to the top of the list and it's listed as pending. The global template has already been loaded, and this one has just been it's been attached, but it hasn't been loaded just yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Update, and if you keep your eye on that alignment, you'll see. So now you'll see that my label's changed, and then also my the alignment segment itself has changed from green to magenta. And so that happened because in that regional template that I had just attached up here, this template had the same styles that were named the same as they were in that global template. And because the regional template is at the top of the list, any styles that have that the same name that were in the global template lower in the list are all going to be overridden by the template that's at the top of the list. So a couple different ways you can control that sort of stuff. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to plug one more in here. I'm going to attach that project template, and you'll see the same kind of thing happen. So if I click, that one's at the top of the list, so I'm going to click Update, and same kind of thing is going to happen here. You'll see that my regional is going to be overridden by my project. So you see there that the only the major labels have changed because I didn't have any change to that style. The project template did not have the alignment style that the alignment itself is using. It only had the label style. So, so what happens when I want to, just as a CAD manager, I want to update some of the styles that my users are using, and I want to push those out to a user, to just my user base in my organization. So the way that I'm going to do that is if I go in, I'm going to open up one of my templates. So in this case, I'm going to open up my project template. That was that last one that I attached and everything, so this blue guy right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open that just in its own instance and everything. And if I go in now to just the alignment styles, if I go to proposed and I edit that, again, you'll see that here's my line is magenta and everything as it was. So what happens here if I change, say for example, like my arrow component to something like, I don't know, let's change it to green, for example. So I've changed that style. I'm going to apply it, click OK. And now if I just do a Q save, oops. So my change has been saved and everything. So now I'm going to go back into my consumer drawing that's referencing that template. And nothing changed just yet. But if I go in here to the reference, in my attach reference template dialog box, you'll see here that that project template needs to be reloaded. That's just giving you an indication that something has changed in that template and the changes haven't been applied to the drawing just yet. So a couple things that are going on here. So one of which you can either, in like this workflow that I'm using right now, where I already have that drawing, the consumer drawing open, and a change has been made to the template, I can manually update it here. Or if I were to save this drawing, close it, and then reopen it, it's already going to, it'll just automatically look back into all the templates and reload any changes that have been made to the template and everything. So a couple different ways you can do that. So anyway, for this case, I'm going to refresh just to kind of make sure that I have the template status is the way that it is. And what I'm going to do now is, again, just watch that arrow that we changed. If I click Update, now you're going to see it's looking back into the template, and then now you see here that my arrow has changed to green. So again, just really quick, simple way to kind of change a template like as a CAD manager, and then any drawings that anybody else in your organization, any other drawings that are referring to that template that you've updated will be really can easily consume those changes and everything. So what else you can do here is in this reference template dialog box, we give you a couple ways that you can kind of rearrange the templates so that you can kind of change the priority of the different styles that are included here. So in this case here, I want to, so in this case I'm going to grab this regional template here, and I'm going to use my arrow button to kind of bump this up to the top of the list. And that's going to let you, what essentially what this is going to do is say that I want all of my regional template styles to override anything that's in my project or global templates. So that's all good there. And so now what I'm going to do now is, again, just kind of watch my labels here. If I click Update, now I'm going to have my new labels show up here. And I just used this some regional text in there just to kind of give you a really clear indication of what's going on here. So if I go back in here, I'm just going to really quickly, one last thing, I'm going to go back in here. And you see here that, let's see, what else is I going to show? Oh, one other thing that you can do is you can, like, let's see, if I move my global template all the way up to the top and update it, same kind of thing will happen. You can say, now my global styles are overriding all that. So you can just kind of change stuff around as you need to. One thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go in and show you a couple different things here. So what you can do if you were to, for example, if I wanted to change this proposed style that I'm using for this green alignment here, if I wanted to edit that style, what's going to happen? So let's say I wanted to change all of my label components on my proposed style to something like red. If I do that, I'm going to click OK, and what's going to happen? So it's going to give you a couple different options here. So because it's a reference template that the style exists in, you can't just, from the consumer drawing, you can't change the parameters of that style. So it gives you a couple different options here of what you can do. You can either cancel that style edit that you just did, which is going to throw my change to red away and go back to the green style, the green color that is used in that style just in the template. I can either make a local copy of that style and give it a new name. So if I wanted to keep this red style, I can have this be, I can rename that style to be proposed-red or something like that, and then that'll keep both the referenced proposed style and my new proposed -red style in the drawing. Or I can just keep these edits for this drawing session only. So that will say basically that my proposed style will be red just until I save and close that drawing. But when I reopen the drawing, it's going to revert back to green, and it's going to throw away any of the changes that I made to the local style. So, so that's just gives you some flexibility as to, it lets you change some of the styles, but it enforces style management like from the top down, so that as a CAD manager you still have some control over how your users can have the opportunity to change your styles, but still kind of use those, any kind of standards that you set for your organization. So I'm just going to cancel that. And basically last thing I'm going to touch on here is what happens to these reference styles when I detach a template. So if I grab this global template and I remove it and click Update, just kind of keep your eye over here. So you see here, all those styles, the paperclip icon just disappeared from these style names, but it didn't disappear from that proposed style that's being used. And you'll see that that regional template that I was using also has this proposed style. So it's still going to look back to that regional template for that style. But it's now what happened is that all those styles that were in that global style basically promoted those into the current drawing so that they're still in there, but they're just not looking like back into it's no longer looking at that reference global template anymore. So essentially if I were to go back in and purge these styles out, they're gone. But I can then reattach that style if I wanted to, and then it'll just go back to like if you see here, if I go back and I'm going to reattach that update it, you'll see it's going to kind of look back into them and everything. But it only looks back to those styles into that template if that template is attached. So I know we're running out of time, so I'm just going to stop there. And Eric, I'm not sure if there are any questions that people have had.
There are many. So I'll just kind of start going down through these. We've probably got about 15 or so questions on the board. So is this style sharing capability, is it only available in 2017, or is there going to be a package or something that comes out for older releases?
I don't think that we have a plan to roll this out for previous releases, but this is 17 and going forward.
Okay.
But I can't guarantee anything.
In the alignment,
backwards anyway.
Okay. In the alignment properties box, the style drop-down didn't show the paperclip. I think that would be useful to see in all places, not just the tool space. So just a comment there.
Yep, absolutely fair.
Great
idea.
If you modified the template, would it modify the drawing referencing it? So I think you kind of demonstrated how that workflow works, correct?
Yes, absolutely. That's the whole idea. Yeah, if you update any of the styles that are in the template, then those changes will be reflected in the consumer drawing.
If I send a drawing to someone else without also sending the reference template, will they still see all of the reference styles? Absolutely.
Yeah, just so like when I demonstrated a moment ago with the manage, like if you detach a style, if you detach one of these templates, or if you can detach all the templates even for that matter, the styles will still exist in the drawing. They just won't be looking back at those templates anymore. So now that I've detached all those templates, all these styles are still in the drawing. So you can ship this drawing off to someone else, but you don't have to send them your template. You don't have to package them together.
Gotcha. Can you load individual styles or style groups this way, or is it all styles in the reference?
It's all styles in the reference template. And so the idea that we had behind this is that like if you wanted to break templates up into like very small chunks, like if you only wanted your alignment styles in like an alignment template, then you could do that. So I mean, if you could break it up as granularly as you'd like to.
Mm-hmm. Can a reference style override a local style?
Absolutely, yes. Like so for the example I showed a minute ago, like if I have like this proposed style here, if I go in and I add my regional template, I think that has it in there anyway. If you watch the alignment here, if I update, you'll see the paperclip show up, and so that green, it was green before because it was that proposed style that was in the drawing was green. Now that it's attached, it's magenta. So yes.
Okay. Is there a notification if styles have changed, like you receive when an XREF is changed?
So yes, there is, only in, like I mentioned earlier, just those two different ways. Like if a template has changed while you have the consumer drawing open, you'll see that status notification here. We don't explicitly like nag you like down in the status bar about it or anything, but you're notified in this dialog if something in one of the templates has changed, so you can manually update it that way, or if you close the consumer drawing and reopen it, you're not, I don't believe you're notified, but you're just automatically consuming any changes to this template just on open.
Okay. So what happens when you have a local style named proposed already? So basically, is it name-based? If you have a completely different style that's of the same name as one coming in from a template, what happens?
So if my template has, if I had like for example, in my current drawing here, I've just got this layout style just natively in here. If I had a template that I attached to it that has an alignment style that was layout, it would override this layout style. If it were named, like if the reference template had one in there that was like layout-copy, then you'd have two styles in here, the native style, the layout, and then you'd also have the second style that was referenced that would be layout copy or whatever it was. So it's all based on the name of the style.
Okay, great job handling all those rapid fire questions. I'm just going to very quickly switch back to myself as presenter. And I just want to remind everyone, before I do anything, I want to thank Tim, you, and Heiko for 2 great presentations. They were amazing. Based on all the questions we had, I think we're probably going to do this again and just more material on the same topic. I want to remind everyone that our next webcast is coming up in 2 weeks on mobility simulation. You'll be hearing from Gordon Duncan, who there is no one better to talk about this topic. He basically developed this technology that we use in InfraWorks 360, and so there's no one on the planet that knows more about it than he does. So if you're interested in utilizing the mobility simulation tools, or if you're just curious what they do, this is a great webcast for you to attend. So watch the community site, watch the forum. If you've attended a previous webcast, you'll be on our mailing list to hear about upcoming webcasts. If you don't want to wait for that, you can, again, watch social media, and our community site will be posting information on that webcast and how to register very shortly. So with that, I just want to thank everyone for attending, for giving us an hour out of your day. Have a great week, and have fun using InfraWorks 360 and Civil 3D in all of our civil products. Thanks.